Why teachers should differentiate instruction? It is simple, because no student is the same. A professor from Brown University, Theodore Sizer says, the fact that students differ may be inconvenient, but inescapable. Adapting to diversity is the inevitable price of productivity, high standards and fairness to children. Providing the same instruction to all students does not mean fairness. Teachers should give to each child what he or she needs to succeed academically. Contrary to many beliefs, differentiated instruction is not chaotic. Teachers who differentiate have to monitor and manage many activities simultaneously and provide ground rules for behavior. Different instruction is not another way to provide homogeneous grouping. Instead, it has flexible grouping, pair grouping, or independent work. Differentiated instruction is not just asking different questions to each child, there is more to do to differentiate a classroom. So, how does differentiated instruction really work? Dr. Salfer affirms that the best way of differentiation is to give students a lot of choices. Differentiated instruction is proactive. The teacher assumes that different learners have different needs, therefore plans ahead to serve those needs. Differentiated instruction is more qualitative than quantitative. It is rooted in assessment. Teachers need to assess students to identify their background knowledge, learning profile, interests and readiness. Differentiated instruction provides multiple approaches and it is student-centered. A differentiated instruction class is blended with whole class, group and individual instruction. With this kind of instruction, every classroom evolves and is different from others. In the book, Leading and Managing a Differentiated Classroom, Carol Ann Tomlinson and Marsha Yimbo explain, differentiation can be accurately described as classroom practice with a balanced emphasis on individual students and course content. The essence of Tomlinson's approach in differentiated instruction is best explained on her matrix of students' need and curricular demands. Students' needs can be differentiated by their readiness, interests and learning profiles. On the other hand, curricular demands can be differentiated by content, process and product. These categories cross each other, giving teacher a lot of possibilities when thinking about differentiation. Differentiation by readiness has the purpose of creating a good match between what we as teachers offer to the students and their level skills in order to provide instruction according to each student's level. Teachers can differentiate the expectation in the products the students will develop. If students work according to their readiness levels, advanced and struggling children will have the possibility to gain academic achievement. That way everyone will have the opportunity to maximize their knowledge. When differentiating by readiness, teachers should instruct a little bit beyond students' levels to challenge them and stretch their skills. Therefore, scaffolded instruction is essential when teachers differentiate by readiness level. Differentiation by readiness could be delivered in different ways, such as homework, sidebar assignments, small group instruction, or learning centers. Assessment can be differentiated by readiness if the teacher uses different rubrics to evaluate students according to their skills. There is a tool called the equalizer that helps teacher to differentiate instruction by focusing in different dimensions of instruction. The equalizer dimensions categorize instructional planning into different areas, as following: foundational versus transformational ideas, concrete versus abstract applications, simple versus complex processes, single-faceted versus multiple-faceted directions, small leap versus great leap insights, more structure versus more open approaches, less independence versus greater independence monitoring, and slow versus quick pace of study. Another form of differentiation is by students' interest. Teachers can differentiate by interest of content, process and product. The main purpose to differentiate by interests is to engage students into the learning activities. When students are motivated, it is more likely they will learn something. Every student is different. Therefore, one of the teacher tasks in order to differentiate by interests is get to know the students. To find students' interests, teachers use surveys and questionnaires. However, one of the best ways to find out students' interests is by creating meaningful relationships with the students. When differentiating instruction by interest through content, teachers use different subthemes and let students choose what they want to study within a topic. Moreover, differentiation by interest could be applied to products. Students can have different options to present and express what they have learned by doing what they like. This form of differentiation overlaps with learning profiles and multiple intelligences. The last form to differentiate students' needs is by learning profile. Tomlinson explains learning profile refers to ways in which we learn best as individuals. These include learning style preferences and multiple intelligences. Learning profile factors can refer to group orientation. For instance, there are students that learn best independently, while other children learn better in collaborative groups. Other factors refer to cognitive styles. Students can be creative or conforming, inductive or deductive, people-oriented or task-oriented, oral, visual or kinesthetic, and so on. It is important to help students to reflect on their own preferences. That way students can know in which ways they learn better. Learning profile is about students' intelligence preferences, like verbal linguistic, logical mathematical, visual spatial, musical, interpersonal and intrapersonal and naturalistic. But also, learning profiles could be influenced by culture and gender. In order to attend the different learning profiles of students, teachers need to create diverse activities that target students' profiles. As well as the other two kinds of differentiation, learning profile can be used through content, process or products. Differentiated instruction is the best way to assure our students' fairness. Teachers should be aware that classroom management is primordial in order to run smoothly a differentiated classroom. In summary, differentiate means to focus on student progress, build a community of learners, serve students' needs by using Tomlinson's matrix, root instruction in assessment and have flexible grouping in the classroom. With differentiated instruction, teachers push students to see how far they can go, pick them up if they fall, and show them the way all over again. This is what a true teacher should always do.